The biggest mistake that I see in resume writing is actually starting to write your resume prematurely. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what I mean. If you like weekly tips, tricks, and advice on how to accelerate your job search and land interviews faster, then you're in the right place. I post new videos every Tuesday and go live every Thursday. My videos will equip you with some of the most valuable information and tools to make your job search easier, because job searching shouldn't be this hard. I'm Kamara Toffolo, resume writer, LinkedIn consultant, and job search strategist who helps working professionals dare to do work differently and land great fitting gigs. So what do I mean by writing your resume prematurely? So let's say that this is your total job search life cycle. The start being when you decide that you want to actually start looking for a new job, and the end being when you actually land it. So resume writing should probably happen somewhere around here, mid job search life cycle. But where I see it happening is all the way at the beginning, before you've done a lot of the important stuff that you need to before you write your resume. In this video, I want to talk about that before part. So the first thing that you need to do before you write your resume is get really clear on what you want to go after. You need to define your target job. Now, the best way to identify the job that you want to go after isn't by looking at job boards. It's by taking the time to identify what your values are, what your strengths are, and what your skills are. And then with your skills, you want to drill down even further and identify which skills you love using and which skills you hate using. I'm not a career clarity coach, but I know a lot of great people who are. And I highly recommend working with a career clarity coach if you have the resources to do so. If you're looking for a more budget-friendly but excellent resource for working on identifying what your target job might be, I recommend picking up a copy of UMAP by Kristen Sherry. You can also check out my interview with Kristen on Office Hours Live, and I've linked that video in the description below. Now, I want to be realistic though. Identifying the job you want to go after doesn't mean that it has to be your dream job. Especially in our current climate with COVID and the high unprecedented unemployment rates, you may need to take a job that is what's considered a bridge job, which will bridge you from now until you can start searching for your dream job, or a job that will help you make ends meet for the time being. You still do need to identify what job you want to go after, even if it is something that you plan on having only for a temporary period of time. Again, career clarity coaches are a great resource, as is the book UMAP. Once you've become clear on the job that you want to go after, you want to think about the reasons that you want to go after that job. So let's say you want to move into a management role. It's important that you know why you want to move into a management role. Typically, the rationale for better pay, being in charge of people, getting to boss people around aren't the best reasons. So dig a little deeper to think about why you want to, say, be a manager. Again, UMAP and working with a career clarity coach will help you really drill down into the whys behind your target jobs. The next thing you want to do well before you write your resume is think about and get clear on where you've actually been in your career. I really recommend building a habit of tracking your work wins on an ongoing basis. I like to call it the kick-ass kudos file. Now, this file is just basically a brain dump of awesomeness. You could use a notebook, you could use a Google Doc, you could use Evernote. Doesn't matter where you track your work wins, so long as you do it on an ongoing, consistent basis. Because I don't know about you, but I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, let alone the project that I nailed last month. So make sure that you're tracking all the great things you're doing on an ongoing and consistent basis so that you can use it for your resume when you write it. So now that you know where you've been, the next thing I recommend that you do before you write your resume is really think about how you're going to communicate those accomplishments, where you've been in your career, and all the awesome things that you've done along the way in your resume before the actual writing happens. When we're writing about the great things that we've already done in our career, we want to make sure that we're following a framework that I like to call the 4 R's. With every accomplishment, we want to reframe it so that it resonates with the target employer resonates meaning it's speaking their language and it makes sense to them, that it relates to the target job that you've identified. We want to make sure that it relates to the target role and relates to the work that we would be doing in that target role. And finally, we want to make sure that it reinforces our strengths and value that we can bring to that target role. So again, the 4 R's are to reframe our accomplishments so that they resonate, relate, and reinforce our skills and strengths.
Oh, hey, future Kamara here. I just realized that I screwed this up. It shouldn't be 4 R's, it should be 5 R's. The 5th R being relevant. We want to make sure that whenever we are reframing one of our accomplishments for a resume, that it is relevant to the target job. So can we add relevant here? Thanks.
And one more thing that I recommend that you do before you start typing your resume is to think about how you're going to communicate that why that we talked about in terms of why you want to step into your target role in a way that your target employer will care about. Going back to our 4 R's, we want to reframe our why, our motivation for going into that target role, so that it resonates with the target employer. Again, we want to speak their language so that it relates to the target role. We want it to be relevant.
Oh, hey, future Kamara again. Can we add relevant to this one too? You know what to do. Thanks.
So that it reinforces the skills and strengths that we already have. So, did I leave you with some homework before you actually start writing your resume? Tell me in the comments below what steps you may have missed before you started writing your resume. Just as a reminder, I post new videos every Tuesday and go live every Thursday. But I also make guides that can support you with your job search. My latest guide is a cover letter guide and checklist that will help you write a cover letter that will actually get read. Check the description below for my sign up link. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with a friend, and click on my face. It's over there, isn't it? And subscribe, and I'll see you next time.